In-ear monitors are the solution to a lot of problems that we have as amplified musicians. I have them, I use them, I love them. One of the cool things about having in-ear monitors is we often get to control our own mix. There are personal mixers that are available in a lot of settings, and you can sort of control what you're going to hear in your ears. Or if there's a monitor console that you have access to, sometimes you can mix your own in-ear mix. The problem is that most of us don't actually know how to correctly mix an in-ear mix, and we end up with a lot of people saying, man, I have in-ears, I still can't hear anything. I could kind of tell you how to do this, but I think the easiest way is if we took a field trip. Let's do this. Come on, let's go hop in my car. It's a beautiful day in North Carolina, 60 degrees and sunny. Let's take a ride, huh? Now you might have something like this. This is called an Aviom system. As you can see, there are buttons at the bottom that have each of the channels going to them. And then there's a bunch of knobs here, and how do we use those? The first thing you'll notice is if I push this button here, that means that all of these are now controlling the drums. So this is going to be my level of the drums. This is going to be some reverb. I can control bass and treble of that, and I can control stereo placement of that, whether it's going to the right or the left, and that's going to help me sort of put it on either side of my ears. Typically, you will have a wireless pack that is associated with that Aviom. What I will do is I will put my in-ear plugs into those, put it on my waist, and leave my volume basically off, so that I can hear what I'm hearing just through the bleed through my pack. And then what I will do is I will come in and add what I need here. Don't start here until you know what you can hear just through the bleed from your ears. Otherwise, you're gonna have a mess. Drums tend to be pretty loud, and a lot of times if I'm standing on stage near the drums, I will not even need to add them into my in-ears because, well, they're right there. So the first thing I will do is I will get myself up in my mix. If I know that I'm mic 3, I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna turn it to where maybe I'm about here, meaning that it's pretty strong in my ears, but there's still some room to go up, okay? And then I will change the volume on my pack to get that to where I need it to be in my ears, what that level needs to be. Then we will start with the other stuff. A lot of times someone has used this before me, so there's gonna be a mix in there of different things, right? So what I will do is I will come and I will turn all this stuff down, and I will make sure that it's all sort of at the bottom and we're starting fresh with a brand new mix, okay? Then once I've got everything at the bottom, then I will start bringing in the things that I need to hear, but only as loud as I need to hear them and no more. If you are lucky enough to have stereo ears, you will want to make sure that your stuff is in the middle, and then we can put other things on the side to create some room, so some stereo space, so that it's easier to hear things. See, this one is all the way at the top. That's going to come down. Sometimes with these, like with this one, this has a bunch of different things in it. It's got the music director, it's got the house, it's gonna have, if there's any preachers or speakers, all of those people will be in this channel. If the balance on that is off, you can ask the engineer out front to fix that for you. They have the ability to control what all those different levels are relative to each other. Again, we're only adding the things in our ears that we need to have in our ears to do our jobs. If you don't need to hear percussion, maybe don't put it in your ears too much, right? Just a little tiny bit if you want to hear it. Keys, do I really need those? Acoustic guitar, do I really need those? Let's only put in as much as we absolutely need to keep that mix clean. And of course, something that can be helpful on stage, if the acoustic guitar is going to be on this side of you on the stage, maybe pan it to that side in your ears to just kind of help keep some spatial alignment in your hearing. If for some reason you've got yourself turned all the way up in your ears, that's generally a problem. It doesn't give you the ability to adjust anymore, right? So what we'll need to do is turn ourselves down, turn our pack up, and then turn everybody else down so that I've got some space and a relation and I can still sit on top of that mix without things being maxed out. So if you are mixing your own monitor mix on a board like this, you may come and find that there are faders here set for your mix. This is probably not going to be a good mix. So if you're, say, instrument 3 in there, maybe I want to get myself up around unity, which is where 0 is, and then we're going to pull all this other stuff down and get it out of the way, right? So this is going to be me. The monitor mix should be a pretty egotistical thing, really. So we're going to get ourselves up, like I said, around 0, and then we just sort of mix everything else to where we need it to be. This is what a stereo fader looks like. Those things are kind of latched together. So we'll get these things set to where they need to be. Frankly, I would be a little concerned with this because I don't see anything at 0. I mean 0, I mean this 0. So I would maybe want to make sure that there were some things that weren't really in my monitor mix. There's gonna be things that you don't need to hear in your monitor mix because they're bleeding through on the stage, and you're gonna be able to hear them even if they're not being piped in through your ears. If I see a monitor mix that looks like this, that's probably not great because I've got a bunch of stuff around 0 or above 0, which means unity. And then if I need to turn it up more, there's really not a lot of room to go there, right? I don't want to see that. I like to see stuff more like this. This is what my monitor mix should look like. Maybe my stuff should be at 0 or around 0. Maybe these 2 channels are most important to me. Everything else should be down, and probably there should be some things, again, that are not hardly in your monitor mix at all because you're still going to be able to hear them through the bleed, or maybe I don't really need maracas in my ears to do my job right.
All right, so in summary, we are going to zero out our mix. We're going to put everything down to the bottom, so we're starting fresh with this mix. We're going to put our buds in, listen to what we can hear without anything being piped in, right? And then we're going to add to that what we need. We're going to supplement what we're already hearing from bleed. It's called sound reinforcement. This mix by itself may not sound great, but in context, it's going to do what we need it to do. And remember, the things that we need the most, violin, vocals, whatever, our stuff. You need to turn you up to about unity, and then everybody else up to kind of where you need them to be in relation to that. That's going to give you the best chance of having a good in-ear mix that's going to allow you to hear what you need to hear to do the job you need to do.